Hi, this is Derek Murphy. I'm going to talk to you about why your book isn't selling. I get a lot of people who email me and they ask me to help them become a bestseller, help them get to number one, get more visibility, sell more books. Almost always, like 95% of the time, there are three things that they're doing wrong that are not necessarily easy to fix, but these are the things that need to be fixed that are actually killing sales. What you think you might need is like more marketing or more promotion. That's rarely the case. Almost always, it's a problem with your fundamental platform, which is your Amazon page. If you're not doing things well, if the page itself isn't selling, when you get a stranger to find your book on Amazon, if that page doesn't convince them to buy, that's what you need to fix, not sending more strangers to your Amazon page. So there's three things you really need to focus on. The first one, which I know is important because I've been a book cover designer for about 10 years, is definitely book cover design. It's not necessarily that you don't have a nicely designed book cover or pretty book cover. It's just that the book cover isn't attractive to the right audience and it's not conveying the genre to the audience. So when people look at the cover, they don't immediately know what the book is about or what genre it fits in. And this is usually because the author deliberately didn't want to make a cliched book cover. So they say something like, oh, I was sick about, all the covers in that genre look the same. They all use these colors and these elements, and I wanted to do something different. That's a very poor marketing choice because you need your book cover to fit in with the other bestsellers in your genre. If your book cover doesn't convey what the book is about or the genre to the readers, you've already lost that sale because they won't click the book cover to read the description to find out what the book cover is about. So if the book cover doesn't immediately grab them and tell them what genre it is or that this is the type of book they like to read, you've already lost them. They'll never read your description. So your description, your blurb doesn't matter. So that's a huge problem that has to be fixed. You may love your book covers. It may be difficult for you because you've paid a lot of money for your book covers and now you need something different. That happens a lot. Often when I work with clients, especially first-time authors, they will tell me what they want, and I'll tell them that's not a good idea. You should use this instead. This will sell better, and we have to kind of fight over it. But because they're the clients, in the end, they win. I'll do my best to give them a cover design that's going to sell, but if they demand the one that they want instead, that's what they'll end up with, unfortunately. So, a year later, often they'll come back and they'll say, okay, it's not selling. Can I use that other one you made that you said was going to sell better? And usually covers that I think will sell books will double your sales compared to the covers that authors want or they think they want, which is why I put out so much free content and movies and videos about how to design covers, because it's really not a problem with design, it's a problem with education. You have to know what kind of book covers sell, and you have to be willing to use the cover that's going to work the best for your book, not the one that you like or the one that you think is pretty. So number one is definitely the book cover. That's something you have to fix. Number two is you don't have enough reviews. So I get a lot of people asking me, the sales slow down, it's not selling, promotion isn't working. And then I check their book covers and like all of their books have less than 10 reviews, or maybe one book has a little bit more. I shoot for like 100 reviews before I even start book marketing because there is a lot of competition. And if you're competing against someone, like I have friends who have thousands of book reviews, when someone finds a book with thousands of book reviews, they're going to assume it's a bestseller, it's really good. They'll assume all these things. And they'll assume the opposite of yours if you have less than 10 reviews, which is a problem. Reviews are hard to get. You do need to work to get reviews. There are ways to work to get reviews, but the easiest thing is you'll generally get about one review for every 100 sales. So if you sell 100 copies a month, you might get one review a month, which means it'll take you 2 years to get 25 reviews, and that's way too slow. You need to get 25 reviews immediately when you launch. And some ways to do that, I've put out a lot of content about building your list before you launch. You can put out a book for free for a long time. I'll usually do a free campaign. I'll give away like 5,000 copies when I launch my book because I know that'll get me 50 to 100 reviews within the first week or so. Generally, not necessarily, but generally, if you're trying to market a book when you don't have enough reviews, that's your problem. You really need to fix that. And then finally, the last of the three things that I see that are really common is just your pricing too high. A lot of authors, they price at what they believe their book should be worth, not what readers are willing to pay. So you can't just decide like the perfect price for my book is $5.99 because I want to position my book as a higher priced product. That doesn't work if nobody knows who you are and they don't want the book. The pricing doesn't matter to the extent that readers want your book. So if they really want your book because you have an amazing cover, an amazing description, and you've completely sold them, and you have tons of reviews, then the pricing doesn't matter, because they'll think, oh, I really want this book. I'm willing to pay $5.99. But if you are not selling, you've already proven that you are overcharging, because whatever you think the price of your book should be, readers don't agree with you. They're not willing to agree with you by paying that price for your book. If you don't have a platform and you're trying to sell your book to strangers, and you're not doing everything right, like you don't have many reviews or many books, then you can't justify a higher price. You could justify the higher price with more reviews or a better book cover or whatever, but if you're not doing those things right, the next thing you need to solve is just reduce your price. I think $2.99 earning-wise, $3.99 is a perfect price point to earn a lot of money. That's what I would price my books if I could justify it, which means if I could price it $3.99 and my book still stuck really high on Amazon and I still made lots of money, that's what I would price at. But even though my books are selling very well, I've only been publishing about a year. I have a pretty big platform for someone who started recently, but I still don't think I can justify a $3.99 price point. So some of my books are $2.99 and they earn some money and they stick in the top 10,000, but I don't want to be in the top 10,000. I want to be in the top 1,000. So if I find I can price at 99 cents and stay in the top 1,000 and get 10 times the readers, even if I'm earning less money, that's better for me right now. I want the visibility. I don't want the cash, because the cash will run out. If you just make a lot of money quickly now, but you don't get your book to stick on Amazon, 3 months from now, when the book isn't selling, you'll have to revise everything and start over. I want my books to stick for years on Amazon and to continue earning money, which means I do whatever it takes to keep my conversion rate high, which means when strangers land on my Amazon page, having a lower price point in addition to over 100 reviews and a great book cover makes my Amazon conversion better, which means more people sign up to buy the book, and Amazon learns that my book is converting readers really well. So I'm going to stop this video here. Those are 3 things that I think a lot of authors get wrong, that I think you need to get right if you want your books to keep selling.